Okay? For example. And then always come back here, where you meet. Or start teaching, because then you have to do it. You can't teach meditation if you don't sit yourself. It's impossible, because then you don't know how to answer the questions when people come with experiences. Yeah, that's the best way of learning and to doing is by trying to give it to others, for example. But hope and fear, we're going, it's like a seesaw, you know, we're constantly hoping for things and fearing for things. So then, do you know about law of cause and effect? Do you believe in it? Karma?
No.
Yeah.
Actions?
Partially.
Huh?
Partially believe. I don't believe it. Partially believe.
Partial. So what do you believe?
I do believe in that you should do good things in your life. You should not just live. You should leave something after yourself. But it's not because of just karma that one day I'm gonna get something.
Well, the karma is not one day I'm going to get something. Karma is like, I do an action now, this will have a result in the future. That's karma, not. And could you please drop the word should? Not helpful. Should comes from somebody else. Somebody told me that I should do this. If you say, I would like to do this, or I want to do this, then it comes from you. Should, must, all this, if you want to train the mind, won't work. It won't work. Drop the word should. Say, I want. Do you think it makes a difference?
Of course.
Should is, oh, this one said, this nun said, the Buddha said, God said. Who are those people to tell me what I should do? Yeah? Try to change it into, I would like to, or I want. Also again, then not with too much hope, you know, knowing exactly, if I don't train the mind, it will not do what I want it to do. I'll be slave of my mind. So okay, I settle into that, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, like a totally untrained dog, you know. They're very excited, yeah, they're very excited, and then they're very frightened, and then again they're very excited, and then they're very frightened. Do you think they're happy, these untrained dogs? Again, do you want to have a trained mind?
Yes.
But you can, yes. So you need to want that. That's one thing, and you also it's good to see first the benefit of it. Yeah. Then I can be the person that I want to be. So you need to know. It's good to know what you want to be. From my side, I want to be kind in the way that I don't take anger when I'm not getting what I want. I let go. Say, okay, you're not giving me what I want, I'm not taking refuge in anger. That's already that's enough kindness. But I still feel sometimes I get a little bit frustrated. Then the voice becomes stronger, as if that would help the other person to understand better. This is my stupid ego saying that. It's totally ridiculous. Yeah? It's totally ridiculous. So, when you say, I am doing actions not because I want something back, that's very noble, but it's very rare.
It's not noble, it's, yeah, I think...
It's very noble, like having absolutely no expectation, that's very rare. We're not aware that we want something back. But if you just, like as Ali said, if you just give, and nothing comes back, you stop very quickly. Why? Because you were expecting that something is coming back. Isn't it? Like, if you know about the law of cause and effect, you abstain from negative actions. It's especially that. It's, you know, we always go into helping and being good and all this. It's very far away. Already being ethical and not harming back when you are getting harmed, you know. Not shouting back when you are getting shouted at. Keeping your calm and your open heart when somebody is not the way you want them to be. Not cheating when you could cheat. What else do we do which is unethical? Not lying when we could lie, and all this.
Where
Already that, like deciding that you want to be an ethical person, even though society is not ethical. That already gives us some kind of focus, what we want, and that's easier than helping others. It's much easier. So I'm not doing this in order to get something back. I'm doing this because I don't like to be harmed. I see that when I'm being harmed, I have problems with that, being harmed, you know. And then as the door for negative emotions in me is wide open. Whereas if people leave me alone, even they don't help me, if they leave me alone, it's already good enough. It's good enough. If they look at me with a funny face because I'm dressed in a funny way, let them look at me in a strange way. If they want to abuse me, in Switzerland the other day, there's a young guy sitting on a bench where there's the light train, you know, the tram. In Switzerland we have lots of trams and buses. And like here, there's like the bus stand where there's benches. Yes. So funny enough, I saw this guy sitting there and I was actually thinking maybe I should ask him if I could sit. Sometimes I ask, especially in the train. But I didn't. But somehow I saw that he was not in a good state, and I was actually hesitating. So he's sitting there like this, and they sit down. And he goes, "Piss off!" So I said, "Okay, stupid sect." So you see, red robes is not always good. So I said, because that's training. Usually, how would you react? You want to sit down on a public bench on a bus stand. I'm 67. A young man screams at you and says, "Piss off." How would you react?
Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
What do you say? It's not skillful. He would get even more angry.
I would piss off.
I think I will.
No, I mean, let's not now. Imagine yourself in that situation. How would it look inside?
Very bad.
Huh?
I wouldn't feel good.
You wouldn't feel
Your ego
good. You'll be insulted. You'll be hurt.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, again, it's words. And after these, now I have to put myself high up a little bit. After these 25 years of training, I was emotionally totally calm. So I said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't want to make you upset." That's all I said with a very nice voice. He got even more upset. And he said, yeah, this is how you get people, by being kind. He was very, very, very violent. So I understood, you better shut up and you better go. And I left. But I didn't feel like a friar. I didn't feel like I had failed. I was very happy. I thought, wow, the practice really works. I'm not emotionally agitated. But also I didn't go in the same tram. Also I had like an hour to waste, or to, I had to wait to go to the talk. But I went to visit somebody else before, and then they had to go to work, so then I had this time. So I actually said, because I thought, I can go up to the zoo. So he said, yeah, go to the zoo. This is where you belong. So it's like, this could be very insulting, but it's just words. But it took me 20 years not to react anymore. So can you imagine? And 20 years of serious practice, because I remembered, like, in the past when I was on the bike or when I was in a car driving and somebody would shout, I would go like this and shout. Not as a nun, okay? Then at the beginning of as a nun, I would not say anything, but here it would be, idiot yourself or asshole or whatever. I would still react like this. Now, after these 25 years of giving up the hope that people should treat me nicely, however they treat me, as long as they don't hit me, is fine. If they want to hit me, I have to yell for help or I have to run away. I'm definitely not going to fight back. There's no point. Very often when people are not so violent and, just seeing something funny, I do engage them in a conversation. And it comes out usually very good, because they see that my intention is not to defend myself. I'm totally open. And I try to use humor or fun. And I say, hey, what did I do to you? What's wrong with you guys? So something like that. But there's moments where I feel this is too dangerous, and it becomes more and more like this, that people are under so much stress and they are so closed and so much in their own bubble that whatever comes that doesn't fit them, because they had this hope that it should be different, that they totally explode. So then, again, what is the reaction? Is either to run away or to just leave him in peace and to go. But so that you're not schlepping your kind of closed heart with you. This is what the practice is for. This is what the practice is for. And having an aspiration, wanting to, for example, now this very high aspiration, wanting to attain enlightenment, then you need to know which steps you need to do. And then if you don't do these steps, then there's no point of having hope. You know, we're talking about this unrealistic hope, where then when it doesn't happen, you're disappointed. And disappointment is like a mind that doesn't want to continue or gets angry. So that's no point. Yeah. And letting go of fear, it doesn't mean that you should not be careful anymore. Yeah. But for example, you see, when you start to study the Bodhidharma, the Bodhidharma tells you, it's okay, don't worry, it could be anybody's phone, you know, it happens to me. Relax, it's all right. And all the others, in case you get upset, just think that it could be my phone. How would I feel? Then you don't get angry at him. And anyway, we're talking, so it's okay. If it would be in the meditation, it could have been disaster, you know. Especially if somebody has the ability to withdraw the mind totally inside and think like that. So, you see, the Buddha's teaching says, first thing, nature of reality is what? The nature of our existence is what?
Unsatisfactory.
Huh? Unsatisfactory. It's impermanent. Everything that we build up with so much effort at one point falls apart. So much money goes into this body, so many thoughts, so much care. And all our bodies will end up where? Same place. Cremation, or cremation ground, cemetery. Anyway, somewhere totally different. Yeah. And we're putting so many hopes in this body. And if you don't die soon enough, you will see how this body is letting you down. And how much money is being made because people think they should have a fit, vigorous, young-looking body until they die, 90 or something, until they die. How much money is being made by disillusion? Because things are impermanent, they're not trustworthy. We can't trust them. And because our mind is so fickle, you understand the word fickle, like a flag in the wind. Yeah? So you see, the same situation, one day makes you very happy, the same person. Another day makes you very unhappy, then you're not interested, then again it makes you happy, you know. This is why we need to change all the time. We need to have more flavors of the glida and the pizzas and this. So then you look at the menu, it takes 10 minutes just to read it. You know, when I was a kid, when the pizza started to come to Switzerland, it was great. Margherita, Napoletana, that was it. No, Siciliana also, I think, with pepperoni, and the other one was with anchovies. And Margherita was just with cheese and tomatoes. It's so easy. The glida, we had strawberry, chocolate, vanilla, that was it. So whatever, and because then it was quite extraordinary to have a glida for a kid. We didn't get one every day, yeah? So whatever it was okay. Now we have 50 flavors, and nobody is happy. We get more and more confused, because the moment you start to lick it, you go, oof, should have taken the other one. Isn't it? It takes us like, I don't know how long until we kind of choose. And then we take 3 or 4 flavors who don't go well with each other. Take one. Take one and enjoy it. And take one and see how unreliable the enjoyment is. Because if you only have one, very soon you start to see, oh, the happiness is not in the glida. The happiness is because I wanted it, but now I keep eating. It becomes boring, and then it turns into suffering. Yeah? So this is the problem. Like, there's nothing we can really trust. This is one of the 6 sufferings. Yeah? Uncertainty. We cannot be sure that tonight I will be alive. You know, now I'm still alive, but like a little bit. We cannot be sure tomorrow I will be healthy. We cannot be sure tomorrow I will have still a mind that more or less knows what it wants to say. We cannot be sure that my friends will still be my friends tomorrow. We cannot be sure that our financial system tomorrow is still in place, that our neighbors will not shoot us, even if they're not Palestinian. You know, they can also be Jewish, and they go crazy. No, yeah, I mean, this is it. So again, when we start to live with that fact, with this uncertainty, but we bring a lot of hope that, no, for me it shouldn't be like this, and a lot of fear that, oh, it might be like this for me, it makes it worse. So our mind desperately wants security. There is no security anywhere. So we can start to live with that fact. You see, when I was driving somewhere, I can't remember, I think it was the first retreat, there'd just been this Arab who had shot friends, like somewhere, you know, he was a worker in a settlement, kibbutz or whatever, and they had trusted him very much. And so...
This year.
Yeah, it was before Yom
weeks
Kippur.
ago.
I think it was just before the Yom Kippur retreat. Now, what does it mean? We have to distrust everybody? No, we don't have to distrust anybody. Do you trust that you come home in the evening without having a bump in your car? No, but you still drive. And when it happens, it's not all over the newspapers. Now, of course, we think that nobody should shoot anybody, but they do. We see it. It's a reality, not only in this country, it's everywhere. So then everywhere, every time we come home in the evening, nothing has happened, we go, wow, another day that nothing has happened. Another day that I didn't get hurt or didn't get disappointed. But the disappointment comes from the expectation. And actually, disappointment could be a very good thing. And instead of using disappointment, how many of you know German? Enttäuschung. Yeah, disappointment is Enttäuschung. Means Ent means like gone, like you know, in Greek, gone. And Enttäuschung means deception. So people say like, oh, now I'm so deceptionized. You know, deceptionized. This is word deceptionized. This is how the literal translation would be. My deception has gone. So people say it being very kind of, oh, poor me, instead of saying, wow, now I finally see reality. There is nothing that I can really trust. But then, of course, we go to the other extreme. Okay, I'm totally distrusting. But that's also extreme, because not everybody is going to harm you. So when we say, you know, it's like there's this uncertainty, so 100% trust is totally unrealistic, we jump to the other extreme, which is even more unrealistic, but I guarantee you, even in this country, there's many more people here who won't harm you than people who will harm you directly. So why then you're going to distrust everybody? The same way as you shouldn't trust everybody. So when they don't harm you, go home happy, and if they harm you, then you can use karma. Wow, I must have harmed somebody else in the past. That is the result. How can I stop this? Now, I don't know how much karma I have still in store for me, but I can stop creating more negative imprints for the future. And that is not fear, that is compassion. And being ethical, this is just to finish with 5 more minutes, being ethical, it is such a win-win situation. Because people expect it from you that you are ethical. And then if you give them what they expect, and again, we're not doing this to manipulate them, but they might be able to be ethical as well. You know, we're group animals, so if everybody starts to be unethical, then people say, why should I be ethical? Because it needs awareness and it needs effort, and sometimes it's expensive. Sometimes, short run, it's cheaper not to be ethical by, for example, not paying the public transport. It's cheaper. But so it lies in our hands that we start there and we say, whatever I can afford to pay, I will pay. Like I was in Vienna one day, also it was like 11 o'clock at night, and I was looking for the machine to buy a ticket for the tram. So I was asking somebody, and somebody said, oh, don't worry, at this time nobody comes to check. I said, I don't care, I want to pay for the transport. He thought I was crazy. You see, for example, being ethical would mean you drive too fast on the highway, you know it, nobody caught you, You come home, you phone the police, and you say, sorry, I drove too fast. I'm not joking. Because this is karma. You see, when we do an unethical action, because we think nobody saw it, no problem. The problem is the karmic camera is on all the time, and it doesn't delete anything unless you purify. And this then alone can tell you how to purify negative karma. And this is where Shantideva says, if you want to be a kind person, first you need to purify your negative karma, because otherwise you get harmed, your kindness goes out of the window. You cannot be kind when you get harmed, unless you're very, very, very well trained. Yeah? So this is why first you have to create a situation where nobody can harm us anymore. Then we can bring up that kindness. And then we don't need to have... You see, if hope would really help, well, we would have all of us wonderful situations. If fear would really help us to keep away the negative things, we would never suffer. So they're useless. But because we don't think like this, and they're so strong in us, this is why you say, well, oh, if I have no expectation, I would not do anything. No, you would have interest, you would have wisdom. You think, well, there might be something good in this talk. Let's go. No hope that it's good, but there might be something good. It's nothing good. You go home, you're not disappointed.
It's an invention.
You just say,
collective
yeah, you just say, okay, it wasn't worth anything. But how much time have we already lost with doing things that are totally useless? How much time?
Too much.
A lot. So then 2 hours more or less doesn't really matter, isn't it? No, doesn't matter. And we can think, we didn't harm anybody. Actually, I wanted to do a meditation with you, but now it's too late, because it's 2 minutes to 9. But you can do this at home. Sit down and really look for these two factors, fear and hope, and look how it makes you feel. See if they're maybe not mixed with each other. When there is, I hope that, bring something up that we're really hoping for. And then look at that. How does this feel, this hope? Does it feel good? Does it make me open? Does it make me relaxed? Then bring up the fear and you look at that. How does that make me feel? And then this big question, is the hope going to get me what I want? Is the fear taking away from me or keeping away from me what I don't want? No, what do we need? We don't need hope and fear. We need wisdom and compassion. That's what we need. The wisdom, what will create the situation that I want? And the wisdom to know I have no control over others. But I can have control over my own mind and start getting ethical and stop doing negative actions. Because it will make you feel good. Not so that you can look at others and say, oh, look at me, I'm very good. What they do is no good. Ethical conduct we use as a mirror. It's important for me. What others do, it's them. You can still see, maybe you did a negative action, I see it, I say, wow, this action is wrong. We need to recognize it. But then separate it from the person and you go, I will never do that. And then you go, oh, I'm also doing this. Maybe I shouldn't judge her so much. I'm also not ethical. If ethical conduct is expensive, I'm also shying away from it. If I can get a lot of money out of something, even though it's a bit fishy, I'm still doing it. So why should I judge her? Why do I need to wait until others are ethical for me to become ethical? Everybody has this attitude, so how can we start ethical conduct? So it lies in your hands. Okay. Thank you very much. Can we dedicate? Yeah. All the positive energy that we have created tonight. I didn't talk about emptiness because that would be the antidote to all of it, but maybe we start at the more conventional level so that we understand the conventional level, what kind of mental attitudes do I want to cultivate? What kind of mental attitudes I want to recognize that are not helping me to be the person that I want to be and to get what I want to get. So that we're able to have the wisdom to see this, to discern this, to nourish like the positive things that really get us what we want. For example, embarrassment. Embarrassment of having done something unethical and being caught is a very good thing of stopping to do these negative things. Maybe be able to develop that awareness in groups so that we see how the mind feels doing an unethical action and how it feels doing an ethical action. So that we get peace of mind. We cannot get peace of mind if we create unethical actions all the time. And we'll be able to see and recognize this very, very fast and very, very quickly. So that we can finally see reality as it is. There is no real I, there is no real me to whom this is all happening. We have a conventional I that changes moment by moment by moment, like just a label. Actually, it doesn't even exist, but that's too subtle, okay, to understand it just like this. So we need to know what kind of I or me that we have. But we definitely don't have an I or me that is separate from all these actions. That is only the victim. Sometimes it's the aggressor, sometimes it's the victim, sometimes it's the helper, sometimes it's the carer. But these are mental states. There's no separate I from these mental states. So may we be able to recognize this very, very fast and very quickly, so that we can all live that wonderful potential that we have of compassion, love, wisdom, patience, openness and spaciousness, that we can accommodate everybody into our heart, and we're not getting hurt or harmed ourselves by it. Maybe to make it really meaningful, even if you don't understand, we can say, may the I, who doesn't exist from its own side, attain enlightenment, who doesn't exist from its own side, very, very quickly, in order to benefit those sentient beings who also don't exist from their own side. Very, very quickly. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. You always make, I'm always getting out of here when I listen to you with such more clarity. It's amazing to me.
Okay, good.
Yeah, love listening to you.
Thank you.
It's really, really good, and I'm sure everybody else took a lot of your wisdom with us.
We'll see. Anyway, it's like, if it was helpful, of course I'm very happy. If it wasn't helpful, I'm not sad. Because my intention was not to be helpful. My intention was good. So
this is something that I'm practicing like in the last year. It's to keep your mind open to everything and attached to nothing.
To learn to be a failure, you know, this is it. Again with the laziness. The more relaxed, really relaxed you are, the more joy in your life will come. The less the laziness comes about. Laziness comes from because we're not motivated. You know, we have, like, actually having a lot of hopes is a sign of a big, big lack somewhere. Yeah. When you are motivated and you're full of joy, you're not lazy because the energy to move, the energy to do things is there, but not hope, motivation. It's totally different. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to say. So it's like enthusiasm for what you're doing. Then when you are a failure, we have to learn to be a failure and still be happy. It's okay, because the motivation was good. But when there's the fear of not succeeding and not pleasing you and all this, then I don't get to be myself. And, you know, just learn to be genuine and show your weak sides. It's okay. Be vulnerable. It's okay. It's fine. It won't kill you. But then people can trust you because you're not putting on a show how wonderful you are. Yeah?
And go up.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, we all go, isn't it? Or what do we do now?
Party.
Party, okay.
Pizza party.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming, and thank you very much for listening to me. If it was of any benefit, okay. If it wasn't of no benefit, what to do? Just relax. So where do we go? We go somewhere?
We go to the room for 5 minutes and then...
I go to the room for 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.